So the end of the week was quite ugly in terms of the stocks going all down south, especially Chinese stocks, and that's what my commentary will be about, whether or not this was something targeted or specific to Chinese stocks, or whether or not that fits more into an overall macro theme of the markets there. As you can see here, NIO was down -6%, Li Auto, Xiaopeng as well. So even the big names, Alibaba down almost 3%, Baidu, Tencent. It was ugly all around, and I didn't have the time to comment on it yet because I'm currently traveling throughout Europe and I have been part of the Crane Shares road trip. By the way, if you are a patron, you will get the behind the scenes footage and you can listen to some of the talks that I've attended. By the way, all of this is unsponsored. Actually, my patrons help me to stay afloat and do such kind of stuff without being paid by anyone other than the supporters of this channel. So thank you guys. If you want to do that as well and support, you'll find a link down in the description. And now back to this topic here. Most of these stocks closed down sharply, also the smaller caps, the Chinese caps. And so the question is, was there any fundamental reason for it? And I would actually say we had two really good news in the last week that are rather positive from the China side. So the first one being Xi Jinping has actually visited Kazakhstan, so the first trip outside of the country since zero COVID or the whole lockdowns and shutdowns. And there was lots of rumor around what he's going to do if meeting with Mr. Putin there. And of course, there has been lots of talk about how Russia and China are close, and possibly even China supporting Russia in their invasion of the Ukraine. But turns out so far, and even the US has been saying that, China never supported them in a way of military or other ways. They're actually adhering to the sanctions. But what they're doing is buying cheap oil. And now, especially after this trip, even in magazines or news outlets like Bloomberg, they were really happy to report that Xi was actually not really pleasing Putin there and not offering a close collaboration here, rather even saying they're having concerns and a bit of criticizing them. And so that should be well regarded actually for those who are, kind of fearing that China may side even more with Russia, which after this meeting doesn't really seem like it. And then the visit outside of China could also be seen as a first step of opening up, hopefully at some point in time. Right now, what I'm hearing from my sources, people close in Beijing and other experts, is that maybe Q1 2023 will be where we see the full rollback in some of those zero COVID policies. And the first trip outside by Xi might be, just one of the first signs. However, need to be careful there. Those policies are still very strict, and we still need to see how the party congress will go in a couple of weeks. And then the second good news that we had last week was actually about economic data coming from China, because industrial output as well as retail sales came in hotter, better than the estimates by the analysts. And so here you see the black line is actually the real GDP growth over time. The pink line is industrial output, and the light blue line are retail sales. And of course you can see this big dip in February, so that's during the COVID lockdowns in 2020. Then we had this large recovery and even some overshooting, and now finally arriving in March 2022 with another COVID lockdowns, up to 20 to 25% of the GDP locked down with Shanghai basically. And now we also get those data points here that are pointing towards a recovery. And I think also the black line here, the GDP growth, should actually follow these numbers here by industrial output and retail sales, which have been beating estimates last week. And so this should be going up. And the question is, with all of the stimulus that China has launched, like easing on fiscal and monetary policy side, not a bazooka, but still much less restrictive and giving more loans and more money to the economy in general, stimulating the economy, we may well go into another overshooting period here, especially if that's the case, that zero COVID will at some point in time dial back a little bit or entirely. That would be the optimal case, Once again, I do think we may see that only in the beginning of next year though. But if that were the case, China would be clearly outperforming what we see on a global stage right now, that lots of indicators are pointing to a more global recession, lesser demand also from, let's say, the US and so on. We see that in Chinese export data, and now also the FedEx earnings or warning here in the news about less demand for parcels and logistics was a clear warning there, I would say. So ultimately, if the world is going into recession, of course, then China, will be some sort of impacted. But maybe China can also be the place where it's going first out of a recession and or into a economic recovery. And that's actually what some others out there are also saying. I've just retweeted this tweet. I'm not gonna go through it in full, but this is kind of a bull case or contrarian view right now, saying basically that China might actually even outperform emerging markets and the US in terms of equities performance going forward. I've retweeted that one on my Twitter account, so go and follow me there, _MM85. That's it for now. Let me know in the comments if you want more such videos, more in depth into those macroeconomic views and about Chinese stocks and equities in general. Bottom line here, I think this is not a China-specific issue. Lots of equities simply have been red. Also, some of these non-profit names, like the ARK Invest names, let's say here, what is it? Yeah, Peloton, Editas, PacBio, Biotech, like those more volatile names also had really a bad session by the end of last week. And that might actually be also because of options expiring, so we had this so-called event of quad witching, and so that might be the case why also going forward next week it might be rather bumpy, right? But we'll see. Hopefully we can recover soon. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.